Hey guys, so not so long ago, um, the president of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, passed away, as you've probably heard. Um, it's a shock. It's unfair, no doubt. He was only 55. No one deserves to die that young, really. But as important as it is to mourn the loss of life and is to grieve and lament over it, I think it's important to remember that Iwata probably wouldn't want us being all sad and mopey forever. I think he would want us to celebrate his life with the same amount of joy that we got when we played Nintendo games. So I just think it's important to go over his life just briefly, and I'll put a link in the description going over some of his achievements in more detail, but this is basically the gist of it. So he was originally president of HAL Laboratory, which was a studio which was a bit all over the place at the time. It wasn't doing too well, and Iwata got appointed the leader of that, and through his leadership and decision-making skills, he pretty much saved the company, which was on the brink of extinction, really. And he's a fantastic leader, and you can see that there. He also coordinated the creation of Kirby alongside Masahiro Sakurai, which is once again a massive deal because you think about Kirby, it's a huge IP that a lot of young people nowadays know who Kirby is, even if they're not into gaming. And that can't be said about many IPs. You probably have Mario, probably have Zelda maybe, but Kirby's just like, it appeals to everyone, and it takes a really creative person to make something that's that infectious to people. But after 20 years, he got promoted to the head of the corporate planning division. But after that, more importantly, he became president and watched over the DS's launch and the Wii's launch, which, pretty massive deal once again, because you think about it, the DS launch was the second highest selling console. I mean, after the launch, of course, but in the end, it was the second highest selling console behind the PS2. And then the Wii was the fifth highest selling console, which, it's a big deal. That's not just Nintendo consoles, that's every console in history. And to think that Iwata was the head, like the president, coordinating all the decisions during that time, during that period, that's crazy. He's saved a company, he's launched the DS, and he's launched the Wii. Arguably some of the most successful and best Nintendo consoles to date. And that's crazy. I think that one person lived throughout that time and was the leader during some of Nintendo's most successful periods. Also a bit smaller on scale, but I still think it's pretty cool of him. He also created and starred in Iwata Asks, and that was pretty much like a insight into game developers and games at the time, and gave some new details and everything that really just weren't talked about prior really that much, because Nintendo's pretty secretive and pretty conservative as well. But Iwata, he opened the doors a bit with Iwata Asks, and he really connected with the fan base, and I think that's pretty important because not many CEOs can do that, I think. He also, really in the end though, even though he was president and everything, he was a game designer at heart. And I've just got a list of games that I think were pretty big that he designed and produced. So he had a part in Mario Kart Wii, Mother 3 and Earthbound, which, pretty big deals. Super Paper Mario, Wario's World, a lot of the Pokemon games. So the most notable thing that he did for Pokemon was that he compressed the Johto region in Gold and Silver, I believed, so that they could actually fit Kanto onto that same cartridge. And if it wasn't for him and that decision that he made, we wouldn't have a game that was so well worth the money. It's a big deal to think that he was the sole reason for that, really. He also kind of developed the original Smash Bros. Really, along with Sakurai once again, which is a pretty big series, as you've probably noticed. Mario Kart Double Dash he did, which is a classic once again. Kirby's Adventure, of course, and a lot of the Kirby games. And Mario Galaxy. And as you've probably noticed, right there, Mario Galaxy is a it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece of a game. And he really just had a massive part in a lot of Nintendo's best moments, and that's something that we can't really forget, I don't think. But even though this was all pretty good up to this point, and a lot of it, you know, it's testament to his leadership and his decision making and everything, his game developer side, but I think this is most important when we remember Iwata. It covers the type of person he was, and his humanity was in check. He never lost it, because after the 3DS's launch, it was pretty messy. The launch on it wasn't that great, and it was all over the place, and it didn't really meet the initial projections and the sales numbers they were expecting. But after that, Iwata took on the blame, really. He took all the blame, and he actually cut his pay in half. His own pay in half, instead of cutting the jobs of other people. That's self-explanatory. You know, not many people would do that, I don't think. Cut his own pay in half. You know, a lot of big business people would probably want to keep their own money and just, you know, cut a few jobs and, we never have to talk about it again. But he cut his own pay and took on the blame, you know. A lot of people shamed him. He was subject to a lot of scrutiny, but he took it all on. He just, I don't know, he was very sincere and genuine the entire time. You know, I'm sure none of us really know him on a personal level, but we don't really need to, because we can see just through the presentations, his decisions. He didn't gloat himself either. He was a very modest person, I think, and that's it's testament to the person he is, and we can't really forget that. You know, you look at me, look at my life. I don't have many interests. I don't know, I'm pretty simple, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the best choice of words, but yeah, I don't know, I don't have many interests or anything, but Nintendo's always been something that I've clicked with, and I have a genuine passion for, and I can't say that about anything else, nothing else. And that's just because of people like Iwata, and it's, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people like Iwata. And I'm sure many other game developers and fans wouldn't be who they are without him. So, even though he's gone now, we won't, and we cannot really, we can't forget him, because he had such a massive impact on so many people, and not many people can say that about themselves, really. So, yeah. Yeah, thoughts go out to his family, of course, and everyone close to him who really did know him. But as the fan base, you're a fantastic person, an inspiration to so many people. Thank you for your dedication and your genuine purity, constant purity, and yeah, rest in peace.
何するんですか。いや、最近ね、ちょっとこれにハマってましてね。
いや、オバキュームよくできてますね。便利なんですよ、これ。いや
ー、今年はね、
はい、
ルイージの年ですからね。
ルイージの年ですからね。じゃあこれを宮本さんも被ってください。
準備していただいてありがとうございます。
はい、これで2人でルイージブラザーズになりました。
しっくりきますよね、こう。
そうですね。まあこの方がオバキューム似合います。せっかくですからルイージの年の最初を飾るルイージマンション2、宮本さんから直接紹介してもらいたいと思います。